So if you don't understand something, ask the question. If you don't know, ask the question. If you want to know, ask the question. Now is the time. So I'm here to introduce Cohen Michael Ben Lewi Ben Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom Lakem. Let me first give all honor. Modim Rabim Yahweh Kadosh Israel. V'kol Kayinu Asher Po. V'kol Asher Hu Asa. I give thanks to the Holy One of Israel for each and every one of our lives. And I thank Him for the blessing of being here in your midst once again. You think that I am deserving of the honor. When I come in your midst, it's to honor you and to appreciate what you do. When I look around this room, and I've been looking around, observing all the faces that are here, right down to our young sons here, it is very moving because with you goes a very deep story, every one of you. You have a life and a portion that has been given to you by the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. And you are important. See, so many times we think individuals are important. But one of the things that I want to always represent as an Israelite is playing down my own importance. None of us would be in this room if it were not for the breath of life that the Creator put within us. Therefore, the only reason we exist is that in our everyday lives, in our doings, in our portion within a family, you were placed in this earth for a purpose and a reason. There is nothing that the Creator made down to an ant that doesn't have a tremendous purpose. And the ant carries more weight than his body mass really allows him to do. You look at his size, how small he is, and see what he carries around sometimes, and you wonder how he able to carry that thing. And we don't carry the same weight as an ant do. But I want to speak about the weight of your mind, the weight of your spirit. How do you measure mind and spirit? From the beginning of the creation, we now come to a portion called Kaye Sarah. Is that not correct? Kaye comes from the word Kai, which means life in Hebrew. Sarah, her name was Sarai, and he changed her name to princess. But before we came to their lives, almost 2,000 years of history took place. One, we got to acknowledge that the Most High made heaven and earth, didn't He? Amen. Everything that was in there. The Genesis told us, the Bereshit, that He even put plants bearing seed after its kind. And that He made the fish and everything in the seas to multiply after its kind. So that one of the things that all of us have to acknowledge is that our presence is based on a Creator. We are the creatures. Every one of us is a creature. There are other creatures. There are creatures in the animal kingdom, the insect kingdom, the fowl kingdom, because some of the birds, they fly, but they serve a different portion than an ant. Everything plays a part. Every one of you, you got a life that I don't know about. You have situations that you don't, and I'll tell you something else you have that I don't even have to ask you. Everybody in this room has trouble. Okay. That's true. That goes with your portion. Okay. Job said, man that is born of a woman is a few days, and one thing you guarantee, full of trouble. We read this book in Bereshit, everything seemed to be going fine until a certain point in the 3rd chapter. In the 3rd chapter of Bereshit is where the problem breaks out. Every story has a climax. The 3rd chapter of Bereshit is where the problem starts, because that's where the test for Adam and COY comes in. They're tested in the 3rd chapter because they were told, do not do certain things. You might say it's eat. I'm a Hebrew scholar. I know I read Bereshit from the Hebrew. I don't read from the English. I read from the translation. In the translations, you might get words that are not there in the Hebrew portion. For instance, let's take some that you probably already know. I read Genesis, the 3rd chapter. I read it in Hebrew and English. I never saw the word apple yet.
Yes, come on.
It ain't nothing about no apple story. At the end of that 3rd chapter, around verse 15 and 16, probably 14, we find that the Most High says, I'm going to put enmity between one seed, which is COY's seed, and Nakas, who many people would call the serpent. He put enmity. That means, reasonably thinking, there was a hatred. Enmity means enemy. He made 2 enemy peoples on the earth. Now the thing is, can you recognize them today? Because anything that happened, if you can't bring it up to date, because there are no new people. Everybody is here as a descendant of the seed of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which is Noah. Now, let's reason. If Shem, Ham, and Japheth genealogy is true, that means Noah's father has to be true also. That means that whoever Noah's father, and it's going to go all the way back to Adam. Meaning that whole genealogy, if you don't accept Torah from the fact that this is the word of the Most High, and that this is the history that he said took place, it's not no evolution story. Ain't nobody evolved from no monkey in here. It's just totally impossible. Everything begets after its own kind. Everything that you see, you've never seen an apple tree bear pears.
Okay.
Only the pear tree bears what? Bear what? Pears.
That's right.
You can take anything. If you take about, so okay, say, well, red ants. Red ants don't come out black ants. Black ants make black ants, and red ants make red ants.
All right now.
Everything in the universe reproduces after its kind. It's just the truth that you have to accept in order to understand the entire history of the Tanakh. From that story, we know that we get the first murder. Cain kills Abel. Abel's name means transitory, meaning that he was never meant to be here for a long period of time from his birth. Now you reason that out. A baby's born stillborn. Can a baby be born dead? Yes, it can be born dead. Is that the Most High that makes that decision? Therefore, again, you know that can happen. So again, when we think about Bereshit, we got to realize that it's a story that's moving on progressively. Cain genealogy goes off into Europe, called the land of Nod, which in Hebrew the word Nod just means wandering. They wandered off from Africa into other regions, and they're dwelling there today. And we know that they call themselves, in the Caribbean we have a saying that says, it's them say so. They say they're the seed of Japheth, not me. Nobody desires that they're the Japheth. They say they're Japheth's seed. And again, there are people that say they shouldn't, because today in the portion, we got to realize that Abraham has children by Keturah, and he had Hagar bore Yishmael, and Yishmael is the father of all the Arab peoples. If that's true, what took place before that has to be true, because all connected, it's continual. Well, why did he say to Abraham, leave your land of your nativity and go to the land which I will show you? Because Abraham is your father. That's where the history of the Bible goes from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Even though Ishmael is the Ishmaelites and he's Abraham's son, the Torah and the Tanakh is not about Ishmael.
That's right.
So the purpose of Moshe in writing this narrative, because Moses wasn't alive back then when Adam was born. The only way you could get the story of the beginning and not come up with a monkey story or Big Bang Theory is that you have to know the truth, that the Creator left this and left it with your ancestors. Moses looked like any man in this room. And that's the man that the Creator chose. You have to accept that in your spirit is some of the goodness of COY and Adam. If you don't connect up with being, because there's only 3 people in that garden. Either you connected with Adam and COY, or you connected with Satan. Because that's who Nakash was in the garden. He was the one that had the knowledge of good and evil. COY is the one that participated in that. Now Adam, she brought to Adam, and then he messed up because he was the one told first, don't do what she's doing. He messed up. And you got to realize that this mess up and this decline of sin has been steadily going downward from the time of the beginning. That's why now, are we in a sinful world today? Yes. How sinful is it, would you? Because, I mean, after all, remember what they said. It said that Noah was found righteous in his what? How's our generation? How do you think it's better than Noah's generation or worse? They got some evils today. Noah didn't even know nothing about it. He couldn't think of stuff that we got going on. So I'm just trying to say, you got to realize that this thing is continuously going on. We're coming to the portion of Kaye Sarah, but we have to know how there are people in this room. They might have never even read some of the things I'm talking about. We got to bring it up to date, because one of the things that we find out about this man called Abraham, who's called Abraham, he's the reason why you and I are here. Without Abraham, we wouldn't be here. Amen. Any man that's in this room, you're in a world in his time where everybody's worshiping some type of idol. Nobody taught Abraham about the Creator. That means that it's within your spirit to find out who God is. That's inside of you. You got to search that out. Now, when you say God, it means a lot of people do different things to be. Yeah. That's why a lot of times I don't use that word. But when you've got an audience of Israelites, they're from A to Z. Both extremes. So if I don't use certain words, the person that's over here, I can't bring them up to where we are. Because I really wish that I could just stop and say, and then he will say, the bear and the kim angeli o. And he will say, the sapir and the tim alador devora shir betorah Yehovah. Be'ivrit rock. And then he wrote say the bear ba'angali. That's how I want to speak and teach you, without using their language. Talking to you in our own language. But before that can happen, we all got to get there. We got to learn the Aleph Beit, and we got to learn how to read, and we got to learn how to translate, because you don't even know if they translated it right until you read it in Hebrew. And that's why, again, I have a Torah that's in the ancient Ivrit. I don't read it just in the modern Ivrit called Ivrit Kaya. Because we got the letters of the alphabet. We know what the ancient alphabet is on scrolls and on things. Just like Abraham. There's a record they found in 1902. It's called the Code of Hammurabi. The Amraphel, who was the king of the Asians that came into war against the African nations, Amraphel is Hammurabi. He's known as Hammurabi. The code, the laws of this man that was alive in Abraham, they found it. Yeah. This is not no mystery. This is not no story about, see, truth can be verified. Truth can be observable. Truth can be substantiated. When someone is telling the truth, a lawyer, when he goes into the courtroom, he got to be able to bring out the truth by bringing out the facts. The only thing add up to the truth is the facts. My opinion don't matter. What are the facts concerning what happened? Abraham, mind told him, my father's God cannot be God. That thing has been sitting there since he put it there, and he said it never moved yet. I don't know why I was worshiping that thing. So one day I'm told that Abraham decided, he said, I'm going to take it, I'm going to throw it on the floor. And he left 2 of the other gods standing up. And then his father came and said, somebody knocked down my God. He called all his servants together. Then he said, Abraham said, look, I see the two standing. Maybe they knocked them down. He said, they cannot do nothing. I said, what did you just say? They cannot do, they don't have no breath. And Abraham knew, just like you supposed to know, that no object cannot be the creator. These are things called part of the creation.
That's right.
Wood is from a tree. A tree is what he made with a seed to bear fruit and up. You got to have a logical mind. See, one thing about serving the Creator, why a lot of people can't make this part, you got to be intelligent.
Yeah.
You heard what I said? To understand truth, you got to be intelligent. How intelligent are you? Intelligent doesn't mean that you went to college and got a degree.
That's right. Come on, Cohen.
How much is your common sense? My father had 2nd grade education. My mother only went to 7th grade. They didn't have education. I had to teach my father, me and my siblings, how to write because he only could sign an X. We had to show him how to sign his name and write. After I get in high school. So that experience, that's why when I listen to you speak about your mother, it touched my heart. That's why I wouldn't want to speak. I just wanted to hear what you all have to say. See, for me, listening is an art. It's a skill that you got to have to be able to be a listener. And so, if you understand, Abraham, our father, found the Creator for himself. His father didn't even teach him. It's from within that he found. He had to search. He had to look around and reason and say, that thing they're worshiping cannot be a God. And so, again, your reason is why you're here today. You might have been in church before this. You might have been in Islam or some other thought. You might have thought certain things you heard just didn't make sense. And you kept searching in your heart and your mind and trying to find truth. And why do you want to find the truth? Because sometimes the only one can help you out of your problem is the maker of heaven and earth. Mother can't help you, father can't help you. See, how I know that? My mother and father have already made transition. I can't call them. Even if I call them, they can't help. Who do I call on? The Most High. That's where you get. Now, as a child, I was their age. I done been through all the ages. If you didn't get to 69, I done been to that age already. In a couple of months, in December 19th, I'll be at the other one called 70. They say 3 score and what? 10. Miriam, show you history. We met at City College in New York City. 40-something years, I told her. She heard me speaking this in the classroom. What I'm telling you right now. Because when I found this, I was on fire. I just could not go. I said a prayer. I'll go anywhere you send me. Just bring my family into this way. What's the sense of saving the world, but you lose your whole family?
Wow.
So that's why my mother was an Israelite when she left. My father, siblings, hundreds. We've married into families where their families are Israelites, because that's when I look around here. How many generations do you want to be an Israelite?
Come on now.
See, because some people, they ain't thinking about this here. Abraham was told that he's going to be given an everlasting blessing for him and his seed. You are that's why you're here. He thought about you in his DNA. You were born here. You heard the voice of the Creator speak from Mount Sinai. We didn't even get there yet. So it's in your DNA to know the truth. But you got to eliminate certain things. That's what Abraham did. He cleaned up his life. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes you think your struggle and your fight is with other people. It's with yourself. That's who you really fight. You're fighting against the two forces that are vying for your mind and for your life. One is a positive and one is a negative. I don't have to tell you what Yah is. He's the positive thought that's in your life. But you got to struggle. He don't just give you the opportunity. He tested Abraham. Abraham might have found him, but he said, no, that ain't enough. I got to see whether or not you're going to offer up Yitzchak, his only son. and he was willing to do it. He showed the Most High the fear that he had. That's what I want to ask you. How great is your fear of the Most High? A lot of people say that, but they do things that tell me they don't fear you.
Yes.
So it's what you won't do that let me know. Because as I said, there's certain things that you got to say, no, that is not worth it. The price is too high. Why is it that we have broken families? Because men don't understand the consequence of what it's going to have on the other people. It's called selfishness. A lot of people are selfish. They don't think. So when you're in this room, we studying all this history, what does it really matter if you come here every week, but your character does not grow closer to the Most High? How close are you getting to the Most High in your personal struggle? Because you got, I told you, we all got troubles. It's not that you don't have trouble, it's how you work them out. You got to know how the righteous way to work out and get through your problem. And it all starts with how you think. You got to think correctly in order to work through your problems. And therefore, you got to go deep into yourself and calling on the Most High. Abraham ends out in the episode of last week's Siddur called, again, if you recall, Wayera. Evil had gotten so bad that they tried to rape a couple of angels that came into Sodom and Gomorrah. Now you know that's serious. Abraham could recognize there was angels. He ran and got stuff, said, Sarah, cook this up, fix that up. He recognized, but they didn't recognize him in Sodom and Gomorrah. See, that's why I told you. People see things from the perspective of where they are. But there's other views on the same thing too. That's why I told you. See, looking and seeing America from the outside is different from being in America and seeing America. So I got a whole nother view of America. Because I've been inside America, living here. I grew up here most of my life. Not most of it. Let's see. I've lived here up to 25. So therefore, that gives me 45 years outside. So I know what it's like to look at America from the inside, and from it looks so much better from the outside. For you, not for them. It looks better for you when you're outside and looking at America. You know it's true, but your mind see you struggling because there's things that you got to deal with that I'm just a sign that it could be done. That to tell you that I've lived out of America 45 years. So I'm telling you, you can't say, well, it's never been done. Abraham, that was one of his tests. Will you leave your whole family and go to a place you don't even know about, trusting in me? How much do you trust me? Really trust him. Because you got to realize, sooner or later, you're going to be tested. Your trust is going to be tested. So that's how you get your... See, a lot of people say, I can trust Yah. Can he trust you? That's what the question. Can you be trusted by the Most High? Abraham arrived to that status where he gained trust. The Most High called him not his friend. See, in Isaiah it said last week, Haftarah, that Yahweh said, Abraham, my friend. It doesn't say that in Hebrew. It says, Abraham, my love.
Yes.
Ohavai, Ahavi. And he said he loved his seed too, because in that same phrase, Abraham and his seed loved him. The Most High has a special admiration for us as a people. No one has ever gone through what we've gone through and laugh about it. We make everybody else laugh. And we should be the ones that, if people were mourning and sad, we are the people that have a sad story. I looked out among you and I thought about what are these brothers and sisters going through. And I want you to know that you're Abraham's children. You go through stuff. That's what being an Israelite is. You go through and you overcome all the adversities, all of the tests. Why I'm so pleased to be here again is because it's a wonderful thing to see people striving and serving the Creator to the best of their ability and raising up children to do it, because I told you, this has to go from generation to generation. You don't want to be a one-generation Israelite. Nor, here's a very important point. Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of Britain, said this: it takes many generations to establish a culture, but it only takes one generation to destroy it. If you don't get your children to do this law, it'll be all destroyed when we all leave here. So again, what do? My portion, I don't know what your portion is. I had to find mine. My portion is I travel all over the world to every Israelite community that I can visit. Your community is a community, when I came here last time, said that you are growing and you're seeking sincerely to get closer to Yah. That's why I wanted to come back. I wanted to see. I wanted to see if you really understand that life is about relationships. How do you get along with everybody? See, because in this world, you got to get along with everybody. Even Donald Trump, you got to get along with him too. Why? How you get along with Donald Trump? You stay out of his way. And you stay aligned with your program and let him deal with his. Don't matter who it is. You got to figure out the right way to deal with every situation. That's what we see in this man Abraham's life, and he had to have trust. So we realized at the end of last week's Sidra, Moses gave us a genealogy of his brothers. And Abraham had a brother named Nachor. And Nachor had several children. One of his children was Bethuel, and Bethuel bore Rivkah. Rivkah is what the story is coming in, because Abraham is about to die in this episode of the history. And Yitzchak is going to continue, because see, it continues on. Because Abraham passed on his to what? Yitzchak, and Yitzchak passed it on to who you passing it on to. That's what, again. See, there's a word called Lewi. There's Reuven and Shimon and Yehuda. I know my family. Lewi, Lao, is a word that was on the curtains that hooked and joined the curtains in the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting. It joined all the curtains together around to actually form the outer part of the tabernacle. That word that is used to hook all them curtains together and make it one is called Lao. That's where you get the word Lewi. It means to join. My portion, and why I'm back here again, is to help your mind grow more to the line of wanting to join together with your brothers and sisters. We can never get back until all the tribes are willing to live together. Get along with each other. So that's where I'm hoping that you be one of those positive-minded group of Israelites. And you have other examples, because that's why I'm here in Naaman, Kokavia. They have that same spirit. See, some people are good at breaking up stuff. They can do that real good. They call them demolitionists. They just come in and you should see them work. I mean, they tear that structure down. But building up takes artistry. To build something up, to put them blocks there, get them all lined and stuff, and get that carpentry work, no, that's skilled workers. So to build, you got to have skilled people. And that's why you got to have good-minded people. Because if you got good skills with your hands, but you can't get along. I have a guy the other day. They had a new job project that started. In this new job, 2 set of workers had been working 2 weeks already. He just came on the job. His first day on the job, he told the boss, "You're doing the work wrong." Imagine you got a supervisor. He's been over the job. Construction site. He's been building houses. You come in your first day and say, "No, we shouldn't do this like that." He tells you, "Here's how I want you to do it." Then he puts you up there to do it, and you do it your way. How long do you think he kept his job? working for you, how long would you keep him on the job? He ain't doing nothing you say, and he telling you what you doing is wrong. So I'm trying to tell you, the Israelite nation, that's just typical of us. Some of our behavior, it just don't meet up to good common sense and good thinking. Abraham, we're going to start seeing his story. He starts out with an episode that even I heard some of you mention here. Death is a real heavy portion to carry. But I heard my brother say it, and I could tell you so many deaths that I've heard. It's like now death is coming like that. And then hardly a week go by, you didn't hear about somebody dying. But that's what it is today. So that mourning and understanding a mourning man's heart, we can relate to. Abraham probably is at a low in his life right now. The wife of his life that he was with all his growing up, Sarah, she died. But they don't call it Mate Dara, Sarah, they call it Kaye Sarah. Seems like our fathers didn't concentrate on death. They looked at the life. That's one way you got to get over death. You have to be able to see the good in the life, and that's why you treat people good, so that when they're gone, you don't have all of that baggage that you're worried about how you treated them. You have good memories and good thoughts. That's what you bring. Because let me tell you something. The longer you live, the more people you're going to see die. Most of you guys, some people want to live long. Well, some people say, I don't know about that now. If you want to live long, it's only one common sense solution. You're going to see more people die. If you get to be 100, you're going to see a whole lot of people die. Just think of your age. How many people are not going to make it to 100? So you got to have a strong mind to be able to deal with death. Why? Because death is a part of life. That's what we understood. So it's not the death, it's how you live with the people when they're alive that really matters. That's why we shouldn't make life difficult for one another. We should try to make it as a most pleasurable and happy experience as we possibly can. And it doesn't happen because everybody doesn't think right. Abraham is now going to do a business deal. He has to get a grave for Sarah to bury her. He's amongst a bunch of Canaanites. They are all people that he knows they're going to be doomed. Abraham is good sense. What would he do? What would happen if Abraham said to the Canaanites, all y'all going to die one day, and God's going to give me this land and my children, so that's it. You better treat me good. He might be better believe. He had common sense to know, keep my mouth shut about certain things. Do we have that? We got to get it. That's what Abraham had, that we got to get. Knowing when to speak and when to keep quiet. That's called common sense. You don't have to go to college to get that. You got to be able to think right and know that this ain't the time to tell my enemy about stuff. He said, I'm going to make my enemy my friend. See, that's something we don't understand either. How to make the enemy the friend. You got to just do things to the enemy that are good. That's how you make them your friend. You know you can break people's spirit with kindness. Yeah. Some people they don't want you to be kind because they want to be nasty, but don't. You ever see them like that? You've seen that? You've been around people. They don't want you to treat them nice. Because that's going to make them be nice. I want to be nasty. So feed me nasty, then I can deal with you. That ain't the way to go. That ain't the Yah mind. That's the negative. You got to get the right mind. He's doing a business deal. Unlike us, let's watch and see what happens about the Shabbat. It's in the 23rd chapter in the first verse of Bereshit called Genesis by the Greek people. We're not Greeks, are we? No. So let me ask you a question. Should we be reading a Greek book about the Bible? No, because that's Greek history about us. See, one thing I've used common sense. Will the Chinese accept the Japanese writing their history for them? No. Should we accept somebody else writing our history for us? No. That's what you got as common sense. You got to have common sense to be Israelite because you're intelligent. It says, 23rd chapter, first verse.
But a sheep, commonly known as Genesis, 23rd chapter, first verse. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And the life of Sarah was 107 and 20 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kitat
Arba.
Arba.
See, that's Hebrew. That's why they wrote it in English, but you got to know the Hebrew word. It's called Quirayat. Quir means wall. Arba, it was 4 walls around the city. Because they had to protect, the walls were to protect them from the enemies. That's why it was called Kirat, 4-walled city. Why do you think they got 4 walls? So people on the outside can't get in unless they open up the gates. That's how they had to protect themselves. So all of those Hebrew words is telling you something about the portion.
The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham rose up from before his dead and spoke unto the children of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him.
Okay, that word in Hebrew, would it be called Het or Ket? Ket, because he's the father of the Hittites, or the Kittites. This was a powerful war, terrible war race of the Canaanites. Canaanites had different races. The Ket, he's among a family in Canaan called the Kettites, or Hittites.
Hear us, my Lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us.
They respected Abraham. That's what they really said. You know why they respect him? He was rich. See, rich gets you a lot of respect. Poor don't get you no friends. You know that people got, you just said, if you got a choice between a rich friend and a poor friend, you say, I'll see you later. So Abraham, see, that's another thing. If God is with you, you ain't supposed to be poor. Something's wrong. You got to be checking out and saying, well, what am I doing wrong? Because the Creator, he said, the heaven is mine, the earth and the fullness thereof. You're his chosen people. It got to be a reason why you're lacking. It is, he's holding back something. For all of us, we got blessings that Jehovah's holding back from all of us. You got to earn the blessing. That's why it's being held back. So until you earn the blessing, you got to go through tests for him to find out, do you deserve the next blessing? And even in your life, the same thing. Why should the Most High just give you what you want and you do anything you want? No, you got to earn it. You got to show me that you deserve to have this blessing. And that's what we have. Most of us, we don't take time for our lives. Let me ask you a question. When the last time you meditated for an hour? Nobody? You meditated for an hour? Yeah, good. That's good. Because, see, that's one thing. The reason why I'm going to tell you something. Are you retired?
No.
Are you near retired?
No.
Well, this is what I want you to know. See, this man don't give you time to do nothing.
That's right.
That's what his objective is. He don't want you meditating.
Right.
You start meditating, you might start thinking and seeing what's wrong with it. No, Negroes don't supposed to think and meditate.
Right.
You a worker. You was born here for labor. You ain't born here to think. You're born here for punishment.
Come on.
You have a curse that's upon you. You got to understand, why are we as a people? Why are all the people in Africa, we all were born here? Why are some people, the Ethiopians, still in Africa? Why are other people, black people, they're still, why is this group over here? And we all know. Deuteronomy 28 told us why we're here. Now, all of us know that the first 15 verses was about the blessing. It was short. The rest of the chapter goes to almost first. In the 60s is the curse. So you know what part we're under. If you're in America, it means that you was cursed. You did not come here with a passport. And it's a reason why. Let's see if we can see from Abraham's story what made him not get cursed and get blessed. It's sad.
in the choice of our sepulchres. Sepulchres.
Yeah.
Bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee this sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham rose up and bowed down to the people of the land.
Look at that culture. That's what he did. He bowed down. He's greater than them. This man has wealth and money. There are a bunch of people who are nomadic. They don't have the wealth of Abraham. But again, even with all his money, it didn't change his character. See, does money change? That's why a lot of us don't hit the lottery. If we hit the lottery, we will change. A lot of things we want, we don't realize that God knows you are not going to be the same if I give you that. That ain't what you need. So therefore, he knows what's, don't they say y'all knows best? Yeah. So don't be angry when he, that's why a lot of us, we got to accept things sometimes that he knows best. And we got to let it go. We can't, see some things, just like death. Abraham could have cried forever. That wouldn't bring Sarah back. No. He could even said, I'll pay you, God, to give me, Jehovah said in Psalm 49, that soul is too costly. Yes. You cannot buy that soul back. When Jehovah wants that. Thing about it is too, who gave the life? Who has the power and the only authority to say, I'll take it back? It's his. So you can't be upset. See, that's why when you have a child, I learned this in Guyana, they say you make the child, but you don't make the mind. So you can make a baby and bring him in the world, but when that boy and girl grows up and get to be any size, you can tell them whatever, they start thinking on their own. But I see it this way. When they 5, they can't say, you see what? See, after a while, they're old enough now, they can think for themselves. And even if you want to beat them to think, that ain't going to change it. You're just making them more rebellious. So again, Abraham is speaking to these people of the land. His character is coming across. He humbles himself. He bows to them. And he puts up a petition. Because Abraham has one thing when you get to this chapter. I'm not going to take this land for free. I heard a man say, free is my most beautiful word that I love to hear. Some people like that. That when we hear free, it's just, it has a certain thing. But we know in America, free don't really mean free all the time. So therefore, Abraham is saying, I got principles. I'm going to pay for this land. You're not going to give me this land free, because if I pay for it and I get a deed, my children can have it. I have few generations of better. And again, he's thinking about Yitzchak burying places, because later on, Rivka is going to be buried there too. Are you preparing for your future and your children? See, that's why I told you, this is not just no church thing. This is what? From generation to what? Generation. That's what we got to think, generation. Because Trump, when he said to the white people in this country, he said, we taking back our country, he wasn't talking to you. They all know up in the hills in Virginia who he was talking to. That's right. That's why they coming out now and saying one of us is the president now. Because he got that mind, us is that mind. So that's why when I say coming among you, I saw that our minds were closer in thinking and reasoning and spirit. See, because even before I even speak with you or hear you speak, your body language talks to me. See, that's what Abraham knew. See, anger has a face to it. Love has a face to it too. Because it's a spirit. The spirit of love is different from the spirit of hate, man. You gotta get that. That's why, see, I can recognize through your spirit what's going on. And the more time we spend with each other, and this is what I tell everybody, you're going to recognize mine also. See, that's a two-way street. Because that's the thing about it. I met a man in Guyana when I first got there. He taught the people, our people, that he was God. They even believe it to this day. Some of them still are alive that I met in 1978, and his members that are alive, they have a larger congregation than you got. They believe he's God. And he's dead, because he died. So they have this picture up on the wall when they come in. they bow down to his picture as though God is still alive, because they say he's going to rise from the dead. See, that sounds like a familiar story to you? I heard that story so many times from so many different people that said they was God, and I'm just trying to tell you, you gotta have some common sense, you gotta be able to think. Well, at any rate, this particular man, as I said, he's no longer alive, but he's left a mark on people's minds that even though he's gone, they are still in a state of confusion, and they're also going against the Creator. And they believe that they have the truth. You know when people that believe they have the truth and they don't have it? They're all over the world. You're in a small minority of people, a percentage that know and call on the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it's a reason why you've been awakened. You got to realize that the future looks dim when you think of the whole world. But it's not that way for you. Your future is great and bright. You just got to understand that the Creator is working stuff on your behalf and on our behalf. Most times we don't wait, and we don't have the patience to be able to allow the Most High to work on our behalf. He's already working there, but when he's working, you got to be doing the right thing along the way. See, you got to roll the play in it too. You can't just allow and want the Creator to come in and step and do everything, but in your ordinary life that you're leaving, these tests that you're having, you got to pass them. You got to pass the tests that come across your path. Because the Creator will never find out what you're really about. Because Israel told the Most High, everything that you said we will do.
And obey.
And obey. So you know he ain't listening to us no more. You think he's going to listen to you after a whole nation told him that? You was in it? No, I'm going to find out throughout my dealings with you what you're all about. Abraham has one of his tests here. It says first.
But that thou mayest bury thy dead. Verse 7. And Abraham rose up and bowed down to the people of the land.
Never too many times.
Even to the children of Kev.
Right.
And he spoke with them, saying, if it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zahar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field, for the full price. Let him give it to me in the midst of you, for a possession of a burying place. Now Ephron was sitting in the midst of the children of Kev.
Very important to know, Abraham is a shrewd businessman. He knew that he was sitting right there. He just wanted to get his attention because he already knew which plot of land he wanted. So he brings up Ephron the Hittite, and he said, entreat Ephron is his lot of land that I want. So Abraham has intelligence to put it in Ephron. Ephron's listening. He said, "What? It's me? It's my piece of land?" Because he didn't know. Abraham didn't tell him nothing before. He didn't go to him privately. He got all these people witnessing. Because this deal got to stand for Yitzchak, and it got to be down the line for my generation. So he said, I'm going to make sure that he hears me, and then I'll get him in the story. Tell you.
And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the children of Kev.
That's what we call today calling him out.
Yeah.
A shout out. It's a shout out right here. And he wanted to hear because he wants his attention. He's the man he want to do business with. Talk shit.
Even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying, Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein, I give it thee. In the presence of the sons of my people, give I it thee. Bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down before
That's
the people.
for free. He said, nope, that ain't how I want it.
And Abraham bowed down before the people of the land. And he spoke unto Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying,
Now it's two men having a business bargain.
But if thou wilt, I pray thee, hear me. I will give the price of the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephraim answered Abraham, saying unto him, My Lord, hearken unto me, a piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver.
That's just the way it's supposed to be. That's just how you're supposed to be. But what he's doing is, he's telling Abraham the price of the land.
Yes.
These are two men. So he says, okay, I will throw 400 shekels out there. That's what Abraham wanted to hear. Now he's not going to say, most of us, when he say 400, you can't put down to 350 or something. He didn't like that. He's willing to pay his way. We got to learn how to pay our way.
That's right.
Not want it for free.
Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the hearing of the children of Ket, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant.
The word shekel means weight. That's what a shekel is. It's a weight. If you go to Israel, they use that word today for the money that's in the land of Israel. The same shekel that is used in ancient thousands of years ago. History is verifiable. That's why it's there, because that's the land of the shekel. It's a weight that was the money weight in those days and times.
So the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave, which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the border thereof round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Ket.
See, Abraham looked at this cave that was in a field. And he didn't just buy the cave. The cave was really where the people were buried. They put it inside the cave, and they would even put a stone up there for burial place. Abraham knew that I have to buy all this land. See, because if I have to go over into the cave and somebody owns the land, they say, you can't trespass on my land to get to the cave. So he got to be smart. They got to buy the land around it, and he did all of that. He made it short. And later, if you look on, Sarah's going to be buried there. He's going to be buried there. Rivka's going to be buried there. Isaac is going to be right there. And you find out that some of the families that were not, again, blessed, Zilpah didn't get in there. Raquel didn't get in there. When I went to Israel, the grave of Raquel, they got a site. Those sites are right there. Beersheba, I've been in all them places. Jerusalem, I was 25 years in law before I ever saw Israel. I had been reading in a book, but I'd never seen the land of Israel until 25 years after being in this way of life. And I'll tell you something. You want to have experience? Touch your land after 2,500 years of being in the Western Hemisphere. You have experience that's spiritual that you will never forget it. Because your soul will begin to make connection with your heritage again. Right now, we're just doing it through a book and through our minds. But to go back to the land where all this started and all these things, it's an experience that I pray you'll get. That's why you got to see this from generation. If you don't see one day your family living in Israel, you just on a part-time job.
Okay.
You might as well just look at that door as being a revolving door, because this is not church on Saturday. This is the gathering and the return of a nation of people. Your hands up?
Okay.
Yes.
You said something. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
You said something just now. You said something several times. There's something that stuck out at me just now. For every man, 25 and older, is supposed to return 3 times a year. Yah knows what's coming. He knows what he's doing. But how can you be jealous of something that you never seen, never touched, never felt? He bring these people into the land and give them your land to make you jealous. How can you be jealous if you never seen it? If you never felt it? If you don't know what it's about? So we got a lot of Israelites here that's not jealous for their land. They don't have the zeal that they're supposed to have. They never touch the land. They never connected to the land.
Well, let me say this too, that everyone that is destined to go there will get there. It's a remnant that the Creator is looking for. You're in competition to get back to the land of Israel. You don't know, and you have not seen the Israelites perhaps in Ghana that are gathered right now while we're here. There are congregations all over this earth. Some of them are sincerely gathering and teaching correctly. Some of them have understandings, and even in their understandings, they're giving credence to false deities. There are people, many of us, we were in church, but now we're in the truth. In Islam, we're in the truth. This is a master plan. And it's not based on what we feel or how can we be jealous. It's whether or not Jehovah chooses you. Our choice. Sometimes we think that we choosing God. I'll quit being an Israelite if you get me mad. It ain't like that. You just in a whole nother thinking that just don't fit into the plan. We're trying to qualify to be in the remnant. We're trying to gain the favor to be included in a heritage that we rejected. Every criminal that goes to jail does not become rehabilitated. Most of them go back to jail as a cycle. But there's that person that gets in jail, he thinks about what he did, begins to consider the consequences. I haven't seen my son graduate, I haven't seen my daughter, and he says, hey, I'm tired of this life, and that's it. Israelites have to come to that same conclusion. That this is it. Ain't nobody could help us but Yah. We done tried all the other gods. They ain't working. We realize that this is the path, and we got to go this path. And if we are blessed, we might even save some of our family. See what's going to happen? Abraham saved Lot's life. And that's what you have the ability. If you do this right, just do it. He said, with all your heart, he read it earlier. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Try to figure out right in every situation. Will you make mistakes? Absolutely. Did David make any? Yes. What about Solomon? Yes. Yeah. Abraham. Yes. That's going to pass the test. You ain't need, if you get 100, somebody showed you the test. See, this here test, there ain't no course you could take. In other words, I could not take a course, Return to Israel 101. There's no 101 course. We can't go to college and get this. This is on the spot learning. That's how we get this. And your heart and your mind, that's what he's looking at. He weighs, he sees places you and I could never go. See, this is the beautiful part about what I'm doing and what you're doing where you're sitting. I don't have to worry about nothing you're doing, good or evil, or that you're tricking me just saying, I'm going to dress up and play Israelite. I like the way they dress and do. I don't have to worry about that. Here's a creator that sees and knows everything about what you might be thinking, doing. I ain't got to deal with that. All I got to do is do one thing. Tell them whether they hear or whether they forbid, and make sure that I'm doing the right thing in my life. Because that's the thing about it. I can get up here and talk all this stuff. How do I live when you don't see me? Yeah. And this is the key. How long are you in this? I'm almost another year I'll be doing this for 50 years. I was 20 years old when I found this truth. 20 in college. And now I'm 70. You think I didn't get no tests along the way? You get tested all over. One of the biggest tests you get is women. Most of the men fail that one just when you say the word. You got to have discipline in this way of life. You got to have self-control. They say a good name is better than silver and gold.
That's right.
What's your name about? That's what I said. I want to go to, I could come here and they say, Cohen Michael. I ain't coming out there, Cohen Michael. I was coming. I don't want to be around that guy. All the stuff I heard, but no. Because what I do and what you do, it's a reflection on the Creator. You wearing these ZCs, you walking around in the name of Yah. He stripped us of all of this because of the shame we bought. You think He gonna let us come back, put on the ZC, put on the stuff, keep the Shabbat, and shame Him all over again? It ain't happening. That's why He only looking for a remnant.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we agree, all of your heart and all of your mind.
You better
That's where it's at right now.
That's where it's at.
So we ask the question, if we as Israel have turned, why are we still here? Because we haven't been with all of our heart. We haven't been with all of our heart, and He gives us our sense of who we are and who we're doing what. All of your heart and all of your mind means, when you say, when our forefathers say, I will do, they say for us, I will do because we was in their loins. So we say, I will do. So if Yah say, do this, I'm obligated to do all Yah command me to do. That's all your heart and all your mind. I sold out to Yah. Have you sold out to Yah? Have we sold out to Yah? That's the question that's on the table.
The question on the table then is this. Is the return about we or about a she'arit? She'arit is a remnant. A remnant means that we ain't in it no longer, not in this return. When we left Egypt, it was we. Everybody came out. Even a mixed multitude came out with it.
Right.
This time it ain't happening.
Right. Well, you said we all coming out of captivity, but we all not going in.
No, but He didn't say we're all coming out of captivity. Someone's going to die here. Are people dying right here? It's verifiable.
Dying right here.
They're dying right here. You see it every single day. But there are people, let me ask you this. Are all the Israelites in America?
No.
So there are people that don't even have to leave here. They've been out already. Do you know, when I came into this law, the light of Israel's knowledge was in New York City. The United States was the place that had the strongest spirit of the knowledge of Yah. It's not that way now. You got to travel outside of America and you see a whole, and I'll tell you another thing. People who have been in the pit of the lions do not understand what it's like when you're no longer in that pit. They have a movie, they call it the cinema in countries outside of America. We say we go into the movies. They say we go into the cinema. In their cinema, they have a place that's down, it's called a pit. It's almost you could get in there for free. But you got to watch the movie like this. Because people on the balcony, they throwing stuff down. People above you, they throwing stuff down. So the pit, that's like considered the lowest place. There's no place harder that I've been to be an Israelite than it is to be an Israelite in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. You're fighting more stuff than you can imagine that in other countries. They have stuff they're dealing with. It's coming at you from every direction. And that's what you got to do. You got to fight all these different things. But the people that work, I tell you one thing, if you go around the world, you will be amongst the most knowledgeable Israelites when we return. Because they don't have the exposure. There are people that don't even know how to treat the European man. They think he's a great man. So there's people that love Trump. In fact, Trump might be re-elected. And I know you say no, but see, you don't know all the people in the hills. Right. All the people up here in North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, they say, we gonna see. Because they coming out. See, we might vote, and we might not. They will vote for that devil. That devil. See, all the devil agents, they don't never fail the devil. You got to understand this. This is spiritual. That's what this is about. This ain't about, you can look at all the people you want. That's why I want to know, what type of spirit do you have? Your spirit got to rise up to you. This ain't about growing the body, growing up. No, it's where's your mind going? Let's go on. Good question. Anytime, feel free.
We're going to recap verse 18. Unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Keth, but for all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre. The same is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the children of Keth.
This place called Hebron. Hebron is one of the cities in Israel that the greatest archaeological diggings take place, because it's one of the oldest cities in Israel. There's Tel Aviv and mountains, all lands, all over the earth. You can see the generations with the pots that they had, the utensils they used, and that's how they know that all this biblical history is true. Because they have relics from all these different nations, the Syrian Empire. They got the relics from the Bible. You have the oldest, only version of the truth going back to the antiquity. There's no other book. That's why they call this the Old what? Testament. It's really the only testament. If you really understand what it really means. Because there ain't nobody else could tell it from the beginning like we have right up to the present day accurately.
But a sheet, commonly known as Genesis, chapter 24, verse 1, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And Abraham was old, well stricken in age, and Jehovah had blessed Abraham in all things.
How many of us can say you've been blessed in all things? Most of them probably say, I don't have all the money I want, because that's what we start with, oil and money. But what about aren't there some things more important than money? Okay. Do you have the peace in your life that you need? Do you have the children in your life that are not giving you the problems? That they're counted as a blessing? That you can see your future and their future? How you raise your children, how you teach them. That's very, very important. More important than money in your pocket. The reason see, money ain't no good if you don't spend it.
That's right.
You can't eat it. You can't take it with you. You can maybe leave it to somebody, because that's what you've got to be thinking about. The other people, they leave stuff for their children. We got to start, every generation starts out for itself. You got to learn, that's what we're trying to do. We got to gain wealth. And wealth is not money. See, that's another thing that I learned that I'm dealing with now. And at this stage in my life, money ain't it. How many properties do you own? Real estate. How much land do you own? If you had to go somewhere, can somebody say, this is your land? Yeah, that's what Abraham, he bought a product. He could go on that land and say, this is my land. If you got land, you don't have to ask nobody to feed you. Because you can't grow stuff. These are the things that the values that we got to understand. Because they were moving. We have become dependent on the European to do everything for us. Even our insecurity, we put the trust in him. I've heard black people say, our armies, Navy's, Marines, we could beat anybody. We got the greatest in America, ain't got an army greater than ours. But ours, when did the armies become our army? If I could send them, I'd send them to overthrow all the people that got us oppressed and take us back home. They're not our armies. We align ourselves with our enemies and don't even think about it. We're comfortable being here with them. The Indians, the American Indians, they'd rather die than have these people oppress them. They would not work. That's why they bought us. And you know why we had to do it? Because Jehovah said that you have to do it. You're going like sheep to the slaughter. In other words, I'm going to take a rebellious spirit. Y'all ain't going to want to fight them back. Whereas before, I could have one of you chase 1,000. Now you moving and shaking at every leaf that blow by. He took the spirit away from you. That's what you're trying to get back. You're trying to get back that spirit that is the spirit of the Holy One of Israel. The spirit that is your right spirit with the Creator. Doing the right thing all the time. When I was growing up, the hardest part of growing up was when my parents didn't see me. How do you behave when your parents ain't around? You remember that part of your life? That's challenging. You go outside and nobody's there but you. All these friends out there got all this stuff, come do this, come do that, all that stuff. The mother says, stay in front of the door, you in the Bronx. You live in Brooklyn. You gotta stay focused in these streets out here. That's what this is about. So therefore, you already started, we've been trained to have to be able to think out. If you could figure out these streets of this United States, I'm telling you, you could make it anywhere. You gotta be able to deal with people, and there's all kinds. You deal with all the different races, everything. Now, when I was growing up, I'd go into a Puerto Rican store. As soon as I walked in, they started speaking Spanish. I've seen Polish people speak Polish when you go in there. Anything. You know how it's good it is to have your own language? To be able to talk to your own people. That's why we gotta begin to study Hebrew. So we could talk. Because when you can speak to someone in your own language, it brings you closer, it gives you enough. It's the heartbeat of your culture. It's how you think. Even the Hebrew language, you know you can't curse in Hebrew. There ain't no words in there you curse. So therefore, that changes you up right there. Your thinking changes up. That's what one of the first things I asked the Creator for when I came in. Give me the ability to speak the language like our forefathers. This don't make no sense. Know the culture, and I don't even know. It's my culture, and I can't even speak the language. And I got a white man saying he's Hebrew. That's what I'm jealous. I want my language back. I'm taking it back. How am I taking it back? I'm going to study it until I get better than you. That's what all your heart and all your soul. How could we be returned? If the Chinese were speaking Hebrew, everyone would be speaking Hebrew today. Chinese got work ethics that's probably the highest on the planet.